I will call this meeting of the Senate Judiciary Committee to order on May 3rd, 2021. Will the Secretary please take the roll?
Vice Chair Cannizzaro. Senator Orenshaw.
Here.
Senator Harris.
Here.
Senator Settlemyre.
Please mark Senator Settlemyre excused.
Senator Hansen. Senator Pickard. Chair Scheibel.
Here. And with that, we are ready to launch into our agenda. We have 6 bills on work session for today. I'm going to take them in order, starting with AB 8. I will now open the work session on AB 8 and ask Mr. Guinan to walk us through the work session document. Oh, sorry, just brief housekeeping. The work session documents were all uploaded to Nellis earlier today. I trust that you have all of the members of the committee have been able to access them, and you will let me know if you do not. Likewise, members of the public should be able to access them on Nellis as well.
Thanks, Chair Scheibel. For the record, Patrick Guinan, Committee Policy Analyst. As the Chair mentioned, we have several bills on work session today. We're going to take them in order. So the first is Assembly Bill 8, which is a bill that relates to gaming. It was heard in this committee on April 22nd. Assembly Bill 8 revises various provisions related to gaming, and it specifically adds various types of workers to the definition of gaming employee, requiring them to register with the Nevada Gaming Control Board. These workers include employees of certain persons registered to operate as cash access and wagering instrument service providers and certain other persons designated by the Gaming Commission by regulation. It authorizes the Nevada Gaming Commission to adopt regulations that allow a licensee to accept an electronic signature from a patron on a credit instrument. It revises provisions governing employment, job classifications, and performance standards of certain employees of the board. Removes the monthly payment option for the fee required from a licensee who concludes a gaming operation, and it makes various technical and other conforming changes. When Michael Morton with the Gaming Control Board presented the bill to the committee, he offered an amendment which is attached here and is pretty straightforward. It revises the definition of gross revenue in the bill to include the use of cash equivalents, and that's all I have on that one, Chair Scheibel.
Thank you so much. And do we have somebody in person to answer questions on this bill or on Zoom? It looks like we don't have anybody to answer questions, but I will check and see if there are any questions. Looks like there aren't, so that resolves the issue. Is there a motion?
Chair, I'd move to amend and do pass with the amendment proposed by the Nevada Gaming Control Board.
All right, we have an amendment from Senator Orenshaw. That looks like a second from Senator Harris. Any discussion on the motion? All right, then, now that we're back in the committee room, we can all say yay for the motion to amend and do pass. All in favor say yay. Yay. Any opposed? I don't hear any opposed. So the motion passes unanimously. Is there a volunteer to take the floor statement? All right, then, Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, Chair.
And with that, I will close the work session on AB 8 and open the work session on AB 140.
Thanks, Chair. Again, Patrick Guinan for the record. We're now on Assembly Bill 140, which relates to the service of process on vehicle lessors. This is a bill sponsored by Assemblyman Wynn and Marzola and others. We heard it here on the 21st of April. AB 140 revises provisions governing service of process and certain actions or proceedings involving short-term lessors of vehicles. The bill requires a short-term lessor to accept service of a summons and complaint and any other required documents on behalf of a short-term lessee who is not a resident of the United States and who purchased liability insurance for any crash resulting from the operation of the vehicle within the state during the lease. The lessor of the vehicle is then required to provide a copy of such documents to the lessee by first-class mail. Return receipt requested. There are no amendments. Chair Scheibel.
Thank you so much. We do not have Assemblywoman Marzola with us today, but if there are any questions, we can reach out to her or the presenters of the bill. I don't see any questions, so is there a motion to do pass? All right, we have a motion from Senator Harris, seconded by Senator Orenshaw. All in favor of the motion to do pass AB 140, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. Is there a volunteer to take the floor statement? Not seeing any volunteers, I will volunteer Senator Pickard, if that's okay with you. All right. And that takes us to the work session. Sorry, we'll close the work session on AB 140, open the work session on AB 212.
Thanks, Chair Scheibel. For the record, again, Patrick Guinan. We're now on AB 212, which sponsored by Assembly members Anderson, Considine, Brown, May, Flores, and others. It was heard here also on the 21st of April. This bill makes changes relating to court interpreters. AB 212 revises and expands the membership of the committee to advise the court administrator regarding the adoption of regulations relating to the certification or registration of court interpreters for persons with limited English proficiency who are defendants, litigants, and witnesses. Additionally, the committee is required to make public an annual report that summarizes the activities of the committee and statistical information concerning the usage of court interpreters. The report must be submitted to the Chief Justice of the Nevada Supreme Court and to the legislature. There are no amendments.
All right, any questions on AB 212? Not seeing any questions, I would entertain a motion to do pass.
Move to do pass AB 212.
All right, we have a motion from Senator Orenshaw. And we have a second from Senator Pickard. All in favor of the motion to do pass AB 212, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? I don't see any opposed, so the motion to do pass AB 212 passes. And do we have a volunteer? Senator Harris, you will take the floor statement. We'll close the work session on AB 212 and open the work session on AB 214.
Thanks, Chair. Patrick Guinan for the record again. We are now at Assembly Bill 214, sponsored by Assembly members Considine and Krasner. We heard this bill on the 26th of April. It relates to sexual assault provisions. AB 214 revises the definition of sexual assault by replacing the gendered language in statute with gender-neutral language. There is an amendment that was proposed when the committee heard the bill. There are a couple of amendments, so I'll just go through them. This is the first one that was proposed when the committee heard the bill, and it's attached. The amendment requires the Advisory Commission on the Administration of Justice to conduct an interim study of laws governing sexual assault in this state and other states and report its findings and recommendations to the legislature prior to the 2023 session. Additionally, the Nevada District Attorneys Association proposed an amendment, which is also attached, that clarifies languages in two places regarding which person is being referenced in the bill. That amendment is as follows. In subsection 1B of section 1, it changes the child to themselves. And in subsection 5B of section 1, it changes the persons to the perpetrators. And finally, with the sponsor's approval, Chair Scheibel has requested that her name be added to the bill as a co-sponsor, and that's all I have, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions on AB 214? All right, not seeing any questions, I would entertain a motion to amend and do pass with all three amendments. Okay, it looks like Senator Harris has moved to amend AB 214 with all three amendments and do pass, and Senator Orenshaw has seconded that motion. Any discussion? Not seeing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I don't see any opposed, so the motion carries to amend and do pass AB 214, and I will take that floor statement. That concludes our work session on AB 214, and I will now open the work session on AB 284.
Thanks, Chair. Patrick Guinan for the record again. We're now on Assembly Bill 284, sponsored by Assemblyman Martinez, which we heard in this committee on the 22nd of April. Assembly Bill 284 relates to statutory liens on motor vehicles. It establishes a procedure for a person to contest the validity of a lien on a motor vehicle. After the receipt of a notice of opposition to a lien, the Department of Motor Vehicles is prohibited from transferring the vehicle's title until the matter has been adjudicated. A lien on a motor vehicle expires 6 months after it's filed with the Department of Motor Vehicles. The provisions of this bill do not apply to a lien asserted by the operator of a tow car holding a certificate of public conveyance and necessity. There is an amendment proposed by the sponsor, which is intended to clarify the scope and the process of the court action that's created by the bill. The amendment in conceptual form is attached. I'll just summarize it briefly here. For the members, it clarifies that the notice of opposition to a lien is to be filed in the jurisdiction where the vehicle is located. It provides that the notice of opposition must be filed within 7 calendar days after a notice of opposition is received, and sets forth a time frame within which a justice of the peace must hold a hearing on the notice of opposition. It provides that if a justice of the peace declares a lien invalid, the court is to issue a writ of possession and direct it to the sheriff, who is to seize and return the property. It clarifies that the bill does not affect the rights of a secured party pursuant to Chapter 104 of NRS, or to a lien asserted by a tow car operator certified under NRS 706-4463, and it tolls the 6-month period after which a lien against a motor vehicle normally expires, pending active litigation or an administrative hearing being conducted by the Department of Motor Vehicles, regarding the lien. And that is all I have, Chair, on AB 284.
All right, any questions on AB 284? I'm not seeing any, so I would entertain a motion to amend and do pass AB 284.
So moved, Chair.
All right, there is a motion from Senator Orenshall. Is there a second? All right, we have a second from Vice Chair Canizaro to amend and do pass AB 284. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any discussion, we will move to a vote. All those in favor of amending and do passing AB 284 signify by saying aye. Aye. And any opposed? All right, I don't see any opposed, so the motion carries. Is there a volunteer to take the floor statement? All right, Senator Hansen. And that concludes our work session on AB 284 and takes us to our work session on AB 405.
Thanks, Chair. Last bill for today is AB 405. This is Patrick Guinan for the record again. AB 405 revises provisions related to gaming. It was sponsored by the Assembly Judiciary Committee and heard here on April 26th. The bill revises existing law that makes it unlawful for a person to engage in certain actions relating to gaming by including that it is a violation for an agreement to be made with the player, participant, judge, referee, manager, coach, or other official with the intent for such persons to use less than their best efforts to win, judge, referee, manage, coach, or officiate, to limit a margin of victory or adversely affect the outcome of a sporting event. And I failed to note at the start of this, Chair, that the bill was sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Judiciary on behalf of students from Boyd Law School. So I just want to put that on the record, and I believe they're available today to answer questions if necessary. There is one amendment that the committee had presented to it during the hearing on the bill. That came from Erica Adler, who is a student at the Boyd School of Law. The amendment strikes language from NRS 463.710 regarding licensees reporting of accounting systems and internal controls used in foreign gaming, as that language is no longer current and does not accurately reflect the process by which the Nevada Gaming Control Board interacts with licensees in this area. And that's all I have, Chair.
All right, thank you. Any questions on AB 405? I don't see any questions, so I would entertain a motion to amend and do pass AB 405. All right, we have a motion from Senator Pickard. Is there a second? We have a second from Senator Harris. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of amend and do pass on AB 405 signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. I don't see any opposed, so the motion carries to amend and do pass AB 405. Is there a volunteer to take the floor statement? All right, Senator Pickard. And that concludes our work session on our last bill. And that concludes our business for the day, except for public comment. So I don't see anybody in the room hopping up to give public comment, so we will go directly to the phone lines to see if there is anybody here to give public comment.
Thank you so much, Chair Scheibel. We are currently on public comment this afternoon. If you'd like to provide public comment at this time, please press *9 now to take your place in the queue. Once again, we are currently on public comment, and if you'd like to provide public comment at this time, please press *9 now to take your place in the queue. And Chair, the phone lines are open and working. However, there are no callers to provide public comment at this time.
All right, thank you so much. Then that takes us to the end of our agenda. I apologize that the agendas are not posted for the rest of the week yet. I will be meeting with our staff after this meeting to get those in order, and they should be published shortly. So do expect some additional meetings this week at our usual time of 1 p.m., and keep an eye out for the agendas to be posted on Nellis. And with that, we will be adjourned.